Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 50, episode 50. What is our resolve? What is our purpose? Thank y'all for tuning in and watching the JP8 Report. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and to share this out. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Podbean, and I'm on YouTube. As always, Rumble is the best. So go there, get you an account. It's free, and listen to some good podcasts and watch some good videos on there. Today, I'm not going with any script, so if I start rambling on, forgive me. I didn't even shave today, if you noticed. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to go do a church function and take my daughter back up to college up in Dallas. But I wanted to talk about this for a minute. What is our resolve? Over the last few days, there have been some serious events happening in our country. It's a serious matter. We are the laughing stock of the world. And, it all started, it started with this about a week ago. It started with that. I mean, you can't say nothing about it. Just look at it. And just think about what has happened over the last 20 years. Just from us. Okay? I can talk about it because I was there. I was there from just after Christmas in 2009 to December 4th, 2010. Okay? But what is our resolve as a nation if we are going to be so indecisive to where our soldiers question us, our citizens question us? We have a president doesn't want to make a decision. We have a SecDef, General Austin, doesn't want to make a decision. He rambles on prepared statements at the Pentagon, giving briefing like him and John Kirby, the Pentagon spokesman, Anthony Blinken. They don't know what to say. It's like, is the president not knowing what's going on and his staff not going on and telling the senior leadership what they can and can't say, and they're unsure of it, and they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to make him look bad, which I understand that, but he's still the president, and his job is to make timely decisions with the resources at hand. We all know at this point he made a bad decision. Just yesterday, see, I'm so irate with what's going on. But just yesterday, he said Americans can make it to the gates. Well, you know what? I just heard this morning that the U.S. Embassy, our U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan, is sending emails and communicating out telling people not to come to the airport. Why? The president said that there's no reason why Americans can't get into the airport. Now they're saying not to come to the airport. There was a guy on TV just a few minutes ago. He's talking to someone in Afghanistan. The airport is closed for the next 24 hours. How are you going to get thousands of people out in a day when you're not even making flights? This is why I'm saying, if you looked at my Facebook, if you listen to some of these tactical officers, strategic officers out there that were in the Army, in the Marines, in the Navy, Air Force, we got to go back in. I mean, not to occupy, temporarily take Bagram Air Base, reinforce Kabul Air Base, expand the perimeters, warn the Taliban, said this will be your last thing you ever see on the face of this earth if you engage an American or an American citizen or one of our allies. Flat out. Yesterday, during the Pentagon briefing, a reporter asked John Kirby. He said, "What are the?" She said, "What are the reports of American helicopters flying out and rescuing and picking up American citizens and bringing them into the airport?" And he looked at her and says, "I cannot confirm that yet." He just broadcasted. He already knew it. What if she would have not have brought up that subject? Would even have told the American public that they actually went beyond the perimeter of the airport and did a mission, an extraction mission? There were 169 Americans trapped at a hotel, and they couldn't get out because they couldn't get through the Taliban checkpoints. Now, if we're able to do that, well, wait a minute. We sent 3 Chinooks to fly 200 meters to pick them up and bring them to the airport. And just 200 meters, it took 3 Chinooks, okay, CH-47s. If we push the perimeter back and then warn the Taliban, what are we doing? I mean, okay, the resolve of the American public is to do what's right. I served my country for 25 years. There's millions of people out here that serve their country. And we all know we took an oath, raised our right hand, and swore allegiance, okay, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. You know, there's inherent risk of being a soldier or being a military person. And we know at some point our life might be required in those orders. At the same time, as a leader, you have to have the resolve to be able to put forth a plan, even though it may cost American lives, which we don't want because that might be ours. But it may cost. It's for the better good. You know, an analogy we've used growing up in the Army. We're low-level soldiers, okay? It's like you have a hill, and you have a team, and you tell your team you need to rush that hill and take that machine gun nest. And you got this soldier that says, "Well, Sergeant, I ain't taking that because I want to get shot and killed." Well, what he doesn't know, that he's still got to follow that order. But what he doesn't know, he may be the fake attack, and the deliberate attack is going to come from the flank. That being said, our leaders need to have the intestinal fortitude to doing the right thing. It may cost us 10 or 20,000 extra soldiers to put in for a few weeks to reoccupy Bagram and Kandahar, but maybe that's what needs to be done. So I wrote up something real quick and put on Facebook the other day. I suggested, and one of my buddies from the 10th Mountain Division, I've mentioned him on here before. He's a loyal 10th Mountain Division soldier, but he goes, so I said, send the 1st and 2nd Ranger Battalion to Bagram, the Bagram raid and occupy, bring in the 101st to follow on with full security for the entire airport, then use the 1st and 2nd Ranger Battalion to go RC North, RC East, and rescue Americans, bring them back, and then get them out of there on the runways. And then in Kabul, you bring in 2 more brigades from the 82nd Airborne, and then you bring in another Ranger Battalion and SEAL teams, and they go RC West, RC South. If you've been to Afghanistan, you know what the RCs are, regional commands. And then the SEALs and Rangers go to those 2 other regions and pick up Americans and American nationals and TCNs and bring them all back in. And then from there, everybody ramp up their operations to get everybody out, and then you reconsolidate your gains prepare for withdrawal either through Bagram or through Kabul, and just flat out tell the Taliban, like, engage us, try to stop us. It'll be the worst thing you ever seen in your life. You thought 2001 was bad when we came in. You ain't seen nothing yet. And I would, if at that point, if Americans got engaged by the Taliban, I would take out and destroy the entire governmental complex in Kabul and take out as many Taliban leadership as possible, and then zoom in on where their Taliban council, their religious council meet in Kandahar, and just blow it to smithereens. Like we said, the greatest final protective fire you've ever seen in your entire life. But that's got to be our resolve. You got to be a leader to be able to take those risks. We don't want to be the one soldier that gets killed. We don't. Our family don't. But it's our job to follow our orders. And the disgraceful way of everything that's just happened in Afghanistan is wrong. And we needed to do this in an orderly fashion. President Trump, he said he had a plan, conditions-based withdrawal for 1 May. It's already way past 1 May. But when President Biden made his decision in April with Kamala Harris by his side, because she said, I was the last person in the room when he made the decision. There should have been a plan for extraction. Why in the world did we give up Bagram Air Base? 2 runways, completely fortified on 3 sides by mountain ranges that nobody can get into. When I was there, we all knew if there was a rocket launch toward Bagram Air Base, we knew the only point that they could actually fire into Bagram from. That's all. You send out a contact team out there, establish a perimeter, they can't launch. You protect the Russian gate from assault. You put 2 battalions worth of soldiers right there, and ain't going to get breached. We do our job, get their citizens out, bring them home, and then redeploy out. Now, I'm a combo soldier in the Army. I know, but there's a lot I don't know, okay? That's my conjecture. But the resolve is we got to have the will to be able to go in and do that. So what happens now? We're the laughingstock of the world. We got British MPs, those are called members of Parliament, okay? We got British MPs standing up and condemning the United States because we're running from our colors. British people, we defeated them in our Revolutionary War and in the War of 1812. They're the last people that should be condemning actions from our military. I mean, they're our allies, but why would they be coming to our aid? Telling people how it really is. You know, that I was like, wow, really? A British person? But it's going on, but all over the French, Germans, the English. I wouldn't doubt it. People in Africa, like Taiwan. Can you imagine? Okay, so Taiwan. Taiwan is the Republic of China, and across the straits are the People's Republic of China, which consider Taiwan a rebellious province. And they intend one day to take it back. Well, we have an agreement with Taiwan, since they're not really a country, but they really are, that if China ever attacks them, we're on their side. So what happens if they do attack? Is Taiwan going to be fully reassured that we're going to come to their aid? Or we're going to just turn a blind eye and say, oh, I'm sorry, Taiwan, you're on your own and you got to do it all by yourself. And oh, all those arms that we're going to give you, we stopped because we don't want to offend the Chinese. What is our resolve? What is our resolve in Ukraine? All of a sudden, Biden decides, well, we're not giving you any more arms. Oh, we'll give you non-lethal aid. While the Russians are giving their fighters pallets of 7.62 ammo and missiles and rockets and stuff, and we're going to give you blankets and first aid gear and maybe some food. That's not how the world works. You like it or not, it's a lethal world. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a world where the worst decision can end an empire. I'm not calling us an empire because we aren't, but people consider us one. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Look at what happened. They got full of themselves, let their guard down, got complacent, and they got overran by the barbarians. I'd love some feedback from people about what all this is going on and stuff. But yeah, can you imagine? The Russians took Crimea. We didn't do nothing. The Russians took the border region of Ukraine. We didn't do nothing. Even when President Bush was in office, the Russians invaded the Republic of Georgia, took 2 big provinces out of there because they are ethnic Russians and they needed help. We didn't do nothing. Okay? We just waved our saber in the air and said, don't do that, and we didn't do anything. We have people that depend on us for aid and support, and in times military support. And the United States military is not the Boy Scouts. We are not just to go down and just do community service events all the time. When the time comes and the call goes out, we need the aircraft leaving the runways with the 82nd Airborne on it to do force entry. When you do your risk assessment, it says we can't do it because we'll lose 1 American soldier. I question the leadership ability of that officer or that military or that politician. It says we can't risk 1 American soldier or 2 American soldiers dying in the cause of their country and freedom. What is the resolve of that person? Is that person even competent enough to lead us, to lead a dog on a walk in a park at all? And the fact that the president, during this entire situation, he spent most of his time at Camp David and at his compound in Delaware, like it doesn't mean anything, sends the vice president to Singapore. What if something goes south or sideways with the boss because of his age and he stresses out and something medically happens to him and they need a VP and she's in a foreign land? What if something happens to her in the foreign land because, we don't have everything we need here? No, we have everything we need here to protect our heads of state. But when you go out on a limb elsewhere outside the United States, there's always inherent risk. But she should be here, and he should be in the White House with people making plans. There's always people making plans. And make plans for everything. They should have had, okay, this happened. If this happens, what's the second order of effects? What is the third order of effects if something happens in this situation? So you know what happens, you flip to the next plan. Okay, this incident happened. What is our recourse here? Okay, so we deploy these people here, we reinforce here, we get these people out here. We're not doing that. We're playing this game where it looks like they're trying to embarrass. This is my view, I think. think they're trying to embarrass us off the world stage, bring our military back, and then try to downsize the military to where they can use Department of Defense money to be able to fund their social programs in the United States. Put us on that road to socialism if they can, and go from there. But I'm telling you, they miscalculated. Okay, they miscalculated because there are midterm elections in almost a year from now. I can't believe it's already been almost a year, but about a year from now, they're going to get their butts handed to them. I'll make a prediction right now. The Republicans, I believe, have 212 seats in the House of Representatives. They need 218 for a majority. I bet after it's all said and done, there will be between 275 and 300 Republicans in the House of Representatives after this. After everything that's gone on in this year and everything that's happened in Afghanistan, I would not doubt. It might be closer to 275, but I would not doubt that there's 275 to 300 congressional Republicans in the House of Representatives. In the Senate, right now it's 50-50. I bet we can get it up to 54 or 55. Okay? Maybe a little bit lower. Senate's always hard to predict. Unless they just wholesale, just like gone. And just think, if Newsom gets recalled in about 3 weeks, and Larry Elder becomes the next governor, what's with the Dianne Feinstein? What if she has to resign? One Democrat gone, replaced with a Republican. Well, boy. What about Chris Sununu in Vermont? You got Patrick Leahy, he's in his 80s, and Bernie Sanders, he's in his late 70s. He's a Republican. What if something happens with one of those two senators? They get sick and can't serve. Well, boy, Chuck Schumer, Chucky's not going to be the Senate Majority Leader anymore. I wouldn't allow it. There would be a full-scale revolution, riot in the well of the Senate if they said, "Well, we made an agreement where Chucky can remain the Majority Leader." No, the Republicans will not stand for it in the Senate, and he will be gone. And I don't think Mitch McConnell will be the next Majority Leader in the Senate. He will not. I believe it might be. Well, I won't speculate on that. But yeah, what is our resolve? Are we going to support our allies? Support our friends? Or are we just going to hang them out to dry and let them flounder and get killed by the Taliban, or by the Chinese, or by the Russians? There's a lot at stake, people. People really don't grasp it. They're partly playing the long game, where the short memories of Americans out there, this has been going on for a week or 2 weeks. What's next? Let's just go take our vacation since the middle of the summer. It'll all be all right. We'll just let him do what he needs to do, instead of putting their feet to the fire and making them do their job and do their job correctly. What is our resolve? And Toby Keith has a song about the red, white, and blue. Okay? And it's the American way. We got the capability. We can do it. We just got to have the willpower to do that. Okay? So just remember, if Afghanistan doesn't apply to you or concern you, remember this picture. Remember it well. It should never happen again. And this is James with the JP8 Report. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.